Hello and welcome to the channel. Hello. I'm in a bit of a guddle here, so I thought what I'll do is I'll show you the right. It's coming. So what you gotta watch, I mean I've been out all day, well, I've been out since 1 in the morning, so that's I've been out for so the ash does build up a bit. So let's quickly I find the easiest way to do it is just to, but what I'm warning you about is don't do it when it's still got embers in it, because then you could actually land up setting fire to you could set fire to your house. By putting it in put it in plastic tub like this one that I've got here. Try not to cause too much of a stir. But I mean, it is okay to have some ash. Obviously. What I'm doing with this is I'm dumping this in the garden because it's got nutrients in it apparently, so what I'll do is there's a little sort of thing here, not this thing, but I mean so it gathers but I'm finding it just as easy just to. I did watch a video on the log burner chat of some idiot hoovering it and then setting fire to the hoover. So you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be setting fire to your hoover. It jams in this little bit under the door here. So as you can tell, it is very cold outside. Very cold. So I think that'll do for us. We don't need to go too far. Right, so put that out there. So what I'll do is I've prepared some kindling. That's some of the biomass things. Put them at the bottom. We should get some more of them actually. Yeah, break them up. I am sort of trying to. The reason I'm burning them is to try and. Because they're the sort of obviously the optimal driest stuff that I've got. So this is how we're lighting it. Can you see me in there? Blocking it in my leg. So there's some right fannies in the world, isn't there? Eh? It's actually unbelievable how many there is. I think people are being encouraged to be fannies with the current net zero thing, NIMBYism, and I think people I've got in mind are not even thinking about it. They're just psycho-conditioned dummies, as Robert Vole calls them. So they're able to get at somebody like me using net zero. If you think about net zero, think about it, right? Use your brains, right? Just think about what they're telling us. They're telling us that there's a crisis and there's something that's got to be done about it. They're using their Learjets and everything. And they're telling us there's a crisis. And we must act now to save the planet. Oh, there's a bit of newspaper. Right? So you think, oh, so you think about it. So the UK is an island in Western Europe. And they're actually telling us, seriously, that if we stop polluting the atmosphere, we stop pollution, then we're going to lower greenhouse gases. Is that what they're saying? Yep. And so, just seriously, so for one big major problem with this theory is that what we're using to pollute, so the pollution that we're creating. So if, say like we stop making cars in the UK, right? Say we stop that, right? But we're still going to buy them and use them. So they're getting made in China. Say the parts are getting made in China. I'm trying to show you what I'm doing here. So put that there. Right there. Right. Get the. So all we're doing is transferring our pollution to somewhere else. Obviously, right? That's all we're doing. So we're still polluting by default, aren't we? It's like we're paying somebody else to pollute for us. Is what we're doing. What you're doing with that theory is we're just getting somebody else to do our polluting for us. So it's a very flawed. The whole thing's fundamentally flawed. So we're shipping out our pollution to somewhere else. So when the pollution goes, the emissions from everything. I mean, if you really dig into it and get into it, let's just stick to a sort of basic understanding of it. So that the pollution goes up into the air. Like pollution from what? Well, from anything, from factories, from power stations, buses, trucks, cars, vans. They're even talking about cows. I mean, how crazy is this? This thing is so nutty, it's unbelievable. So the pollution's going up into the air, and you'd have to think that we weren't spinning around in the universe, right? That the air is just going to stay exactly where it is and it's not going to go anywhere. So how is it going to affect the world? Well, so we're, instead of not existing, we're carrying on doing the things that we do, but doing it in a net zero fashion. It's not going to do any fucking good, is it? Anybody with any brains knows that. It's insane. It's an insane idea, and it's not going to help anyone with anything. Oh, I can't even, I think I'm too tired to really articulate what I'm thinking, but if you look at the pollution of China, India, the US, all these, like if you look at it, and in the UK, it's so insignificant, it's nothing. So you take into account the fact that they've offered us, the only reason they've offered us this solution is so they can make money. They're making money off us. So this is a Firelighting session. It is the 22nd of December, Sunday. It's, I don't know what time it is. So they're saying that if we go to net zero, it's 10 to 5 on Sunday afternoon. The 22nd of December. So we've got to sacrifice So you say, well, what are we sacrificing? Well, your bills have doubled. So you've just got to carry on and accept that. That's what the numpties will say. And like, how can it slowing your car down to 20 miles per hour? How can that? All this crazy stuff. It's kind of like it's circumnavigating the existing. What I really, really, really don't like is when they circumnavigate, say like the highway code. So there's the highway code and planning for housing and stuff. When they expect us to circumnavigate it, and they don't say, "Oh, we're going to do away with it." They just sort of, they come up with doublespeak, Orwellian doublespeak, which actually means we're going to circumnavigate it, and we're going to work around it. So we're going to do away with the planning rules. But these planning rules are there to protect us. You know, they're designed. I'm going to wait to cut this in half, right, and this one as well. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Back to 2 seconds. Back. So the reason they want you to go along with that stuff. So the numpties. So there, look at that. That's interesting, that, isn't it? That line right through there. See that? That line. I would say that's the remaining bit of. We'll put that there, let that dry on the hearth. So that's Jesus. So that's quite decent bits there. Turns out when you pick up hot wood that's been on fire, that turns out if you pick it up, it burns your hands. Look at that, that's quite disappointing, isn't it? It's very disappointing. Let's see what else we've got here. What about this one? We'll go and split that as well. Let's go and split that one. back. Yeah, it's a bit of a disappointing call lighting session. This split really nice. I suppose the problem with having a log burner is, fucking hell, Jesus, it's keeping on top of it. Totally keeping on top of the whole thing. So that's going to go. Keeping totally on it is a challenge. It is a challenge. So put another. It's a challenge. So just push that over onto it there. But I mean, in your life, you've always got to be thinking that you're going somewhere, or you're going to be heading to do. You've got to have some kind of like thing, right? When I get this out of the way, I'll be able to do something else with my life. So I think you've constantly got to believe in that. If you're just existing, then it's not really much good, is it? So I've got Christmas cards here I've got to sort out. It's quite a slow firelighting session, this one. But once we get it going, I think it's gonna. I mean, I could actually put some more paper in it. It creates too much ash. I usually try not to. So the whole thing, if you just think about the net zero thing, it's such a fake lot of shit that you'd have to be pretty stupid to believe it, you know. Or ironically, the environment is actually suffering from it, which is the ironic side of it. And the environment's being abused in the name of this religion. That's what it is. It's a religion, and it maybe is because we turned our back on God. Christianity, this new religion, has stepped in. So this obsession, like a 77-year-old woman, you know, who blocked the M25, got released, and they couldn't get a tag on her ankle because it was swollen or something, so they had to put her back to jail. You know, she's like totally demonised by this cause. Well, yeah, of course you should want to protect the environment. Of course you should. It would be normal and natural for you to want to do so. But the net zero thing is just when I say that, I mean wind farms, electric cars, storage facilities, solar farms, solar panels. These are an appalling route to net zero. A bad route, a dangerous route, an expensive route. And remember, net zero, zero is a big circle with a little circle on top of it. The little circle being the net zero, and the big circle is your emissions, and the little tiny circle is reducing your emissions. And they go on about CO2 and everything, and they use all the buzzwords. The words, I mean, you do wonder, where do these words come from? Where do they originate? You know, sustainability and resilience, climate resilience, all that. This will get flagged up, by the way, this video, because of these words that I'm using. It'll get flagged up from, you know, for they'll put a bit under it. But I don't think it actually does it any harm. But I don't think it does the channel much good. I don't really like it at all. So that's you. You're speaking out. You've got to remember who it is that you're working for. You're working for YouTube. I think it's a bad idea to be dependent on them for income. I think you're actually becoming. I think that's a bit of an it's irony. Say like Neil Oliver sitting there complaining about everything, and yet he's earning money from this American corporation. Can you see the double standards there? So he's on that platform, and that's what is that his source of income? That's what he's making a living from. Or is he going to turn around and say that he's not making a living from that, and it's self-sustainable? The income he gets from his channel is paying for the researchers and the editors and everything to do it. Is that what he means? And he's making money somewhere else because he's sitting there criticising their little baby, isn't he? Going on about all this because he complains about everything, quite rightly so as well. But I think he just went off. He goes off course with certain things. And I actually start to think he is actually far right. Yeah, well, what is far right? What does far right mean? And I think he's showing signs of being far to the right. So it's where you've got sort of zero tolerance for anything. You're illiberal, and you essentially are that. You are far right. So it means that you're not going to tolerate anyone. Equally far left is just as bad. It's the same, but it's worse because it's got a sort of overarching, crazy sort of element to it. Fascist overtones. Right, so the whole thing is just insane. The net zero thing. So we're going to solve the world. We're going to do our bit and cut down our emissions, and it's not going to make the slightest bit of difference to the world. It's going to make us poor. It's going to transfer wealth to zillionaires, trillionaires, and billionaires who are running off with the money and going to leave us with the clean-up campaign, which is cleaning up the battery facilities and the broken wind farms, the broken solar panels, which are going to be littering up and down the aisles of the United Kingdom. Am I moaning about this enough? Right, so we're getting there. So you've seen it from start to finish. I'm not quite happy with it. It's not really going enough. I need to get some more of that wood that I just kindled. Tomorrow I need to get it out and kindle it up better. Put it in a box. I've got a few bits lying about there that are cracking already and could be kindled up like that. Oh, that one's got a big crack in it. Look at that. It's asking for it, isn't it? Oh! Right. So you're just going to wreck the joint. I'm actually starting to feel quite hungry now. I'm not happy with the firelighting session. It's not over yet. I could go and deliver this Christmas card is what I'm going to do. Right. Yes. I'm going to sneak over and do that. No, I'm not going to do it because the window's open. The window's open. I'll do it when the curtains are shut, and I'll sneak over and pop it through a letterbox. Because I don't really want to talk to anyone. That's why I'm a bit of an introvert actually, in some ways. Although I can talk to people, and I'm happy to talk to them, and I do like talking to them. I just don't really feel up to talking to anyone right now. So we've got some. Some letters here. Just to make it interesting for you. got these letters. I'm trying to work out. Right, I've got these letters and I've worked out what. Oh, I've worked out a word. So it's the only word I could come up with. Is I better not leave them up too long, they'll catch fire. Vole. That's all I can come up with. Or L of. Oval. That's it. That's the only words I can come up with that one. I could do with getting some more of these. We could have a lot of fun with them. Oh, right, so you're standing in amongst all the... Right, that's a bit... See, I'm not going to put that in. I think that's MDF. So I'm going to put that in the bin. Oh, is this fucking lunatic? Jim Dale. He is absolutely... He'd be better off being euthanised. Yeah. That Jim Dale. He's a danger to humanity. Grocery tax. So they're introducing a grocery tax. So who are they? Like the grocery tax. So they're adding. It's going to add to our bills. So who's paying for this? Is it the multinational corporations? No. Who is it? Shopkeepers? No, it's not them. You know who it is? It's us. So we're paying for it. So we are paying for them, for their convenience, so they can produce. Well, let's not produce it. They can assist in the delivery of a service to us, which makes it convenient for them, and we pay for it, not them. So they're not like this is the whole thing I was talking about when I was talking about the rubbish when I was driving yesterday. I was talking about why do they not collect the rubbish? Why is it when people go collecting rubbish that gets put in that gets dumped at the side of the road? Why is there such a problem? It's because of the money, they don't want to pay for it. So the grocery tax is us paying for.
We're carrying the potatoes in our hands and the sprouts and everything at Christmas. And what the study showed was the total amount of mass now had increased because plastic's very light as packaging by...
He's a climate scientist.
6 times, 360%. The energy consumption in doing that would increase by 2.2 times, and the global emissions, the CO2 emissions, which I'm all for because I support more CO2, would increase 270%. Let me put that in perspective. It's like adding 20.3 million passenger cars to the UK roads. So in actual fact, this policy will increase CO2 emissions. So whilst I'm not against that, Jim, it's not achieving your objective because you don't look at the implications of what you have to change it over to. I mean, for example, you can't use glass because it's very heavy. So all the way through the transport system and everything, more CO2 emissions. If you use paper, you're still taxed on it under this. So I don't know what you're going to be using. But all this ends up with is a tax on groceries. So, they're now making groceries for everybody more expensive for absolute madness. So there we are. You're adding 20.3 million passenger cars to the roads in the UK, Jim. That's the evidence.
What do you say to that, Jim?
I say exactly what I've just said previously in terms of Bolly. Have you not seen the plastic that is in the seas, in the rivers, in the landfills, on our streets?
So that
I don't want to necessarily get into argument about the finer details of even the science behind it to a certain degree. This is just common sense. We need to
It's
reduce
not common
our
sense.
plastic use, and those that should be paying for it are not the people that you are pointing at, as in the end user like ourselves, the customers. It should be the retailers themselves. They are the ones that are primarily responsible for this, and there are ways and means. We're moving towards
Ways and means. When they start that ways and means, watch out. When they start saying ways and means, that means they're trying to work out how to get you, and they think they know. They think they can get you. That's what ways and means means. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's because I know somebody said that to me. Somebody who reported me to the council a couple of times for this fire that we've got here right in front of us, said there's ways and means. He said that, and it was quite Freudian. And if he thinks I don't remember what he says, I do. I've remembered everything. If you ever had I don't know if you're slimy enough to come on here and watch these videos, but I remember everything you said, and you are going to pay for it. So it's going to take a little while, but we are going to get you. And me and my 5,500 subscribers are going to get you, and you're going to pay for what you've done, because that's what happens in life. Everybody pays. So there's ways and means to get. There's always ways and means. There's ways and means for everyone.
Polluting the microplastics into the sea and land, but those wind vanes shed microplastics for up to 100 kilometres over our land and seas. Microplastics. So when you look at pollution, and as an retired environmental engineer I do, when you look at that, one of the worst things you can have is wind farms. But we could go to the biggest solar farm being smashed to bits in the storm recently in the UK and poisoning all the land as well. No, I just looked at the evidence. What Jim doesn't do is look at the scientific evidence. He is adding 8.3.
What you do, Paul, is you look at the scientific evidence and then you change it to suit your.
Yeah, that's what you're doing, Jim.
And that's what you do. That's what you do. Look, you say you don't want these things going into landfills. You say you don't want them going to seas. You say and rivers, etc. We all know that is a fact. But look, this government is not, and the last government are not doing what they're doing for no good reason. This is scientifically proven what goes on, where this plastic ends up, and we have to start to curtail that.
Well, you can't talk at the same time because nobody will hear anything. So, Paul Burgess, can you respond to what Jim Daly says?
Look, I've just given you the evidence. The evidence is the weight of all the materials. Plastics is very light. In addition to that, the food waste inside the supermarket without the plastic is between 4 and 50% extra weight. Please let me speak, Jim. Right, so you get more food waste. Secondly, it actually improves the hygiene of groceries, etc., having the plastics. And by the way, we use about 1.5% of the oil produce for plastics. But without plastics, Jim, you wouldn't be in dress now, you'd be in the nude. Without plastics, you wouldn't have your phone or your...
What a sight that would be. God help us.
Oh, that's true. This is not about...
God help us. He says without plastics, Jim, you would be in the nude.
Let Jim respond. Jim.
Yeah, we don't arrive at this tomorrow, and that everybody starts having to pay through their back pocket tomorrow.
Yeah, we do.
This takes time. This is a phased.
That's insane, isn't it? It's insane. The net zero thing. Right, so how are we getting on with this? That's good. Right, so we can shut that down. Close that down. We'll get one of these babies on it once it gets going a bit more.
Let's keep them because they're easy to carry and all the rest of it. But now we pay a levy. We now get a choice whether we
We pay a levy for the carrier bag. The supermarket makes money. I keep forgetting my replaceable bag. I buy a plastic bag.
Oh, that's not very good, is it? Oh, is that going to shut?
We're adding 1.2
Yes.
billion at the moment.
Yes.
Because that'll grow. We're adding 1.4 billion according to them to the grocery bill. So now we're hitting old age pensioners, freezing them over the winter. Now we're adding to the cost of food.
Howard, let me finish because you were uninterrupted, Chip.
No, so we're adding taxes here for no good reason. And what Jim hasn't counted is the fact it increases the CO2 to the equivalent, if it did away with packaging in plastic, right, to the equivalent of 20.3 million extra cars on British roads foods today. That's the science.
But we would all agree that we would like less packaging, less plastic and all that. But if they're going to do it, it needs the ends must justify the means. There's no point doing
It's just another tax, isn't it? It's insane. Another tax. Another expense.
Thank you both of you. Right, what do you
That
think? Danny Kelly, the
God.
me as well. I'll start with you, Danny Kelly.
Right.
Look, I don't know if overnight I've been kicked in the head by a donkey, but I actually agree with Jim. And that's the first time I've ever said that. I agree with Jim. I think that society would be a better place without so much single-use.
Don't ever agree with Jim.
Jim brought up the plastic bag.
Don't ever.
Introduced in 2000.
The guy's mad.
The government has discouraged us
Right.
from using and buying plastic, so much so that 90-odd%, it's got a success rate of 90-odd%.
So that's the fire. It's going.
Of bags, fewer bags are being produced. And if the figures are right, £56 every household.
So it's still got
Are the businesses going to pass it on to the consumer? I'm not sure they will. That's the threat. Are they going to pass it on to us? Is it going to cost us 56 nicker a year? But I agree with Jim in the sense that I think we would be better off, and you yourself conceded that. Generally speaking, with less plastic.
No, it's not conceding it. Paul Burgess also said it. We all agree. We all agree that there should be less plastic. But the point that Paul was making is what they replace that with. So, for example, you're getting rid of petrol and diesel cars, but then you're replacing it with an electric car. That's got a higher carbon footprint. So the point Paul is making is that it's not going to work.
Well, for Jim, I hope Santa buys him a sat-nav, because I think he totally has lost his way. Look, this is going to hit no one more than the customers and families up to 1.4.
Right, so that's it then.
So it's going to hit the customers.
As usual, it's going to hit everybody. We've got to pay for it. Right. So how are we doing? Are you happy with that then? I'd rather the firelighting session ended with a lovely red fire. You know, so because it will be like that probably about another 10 minutes. You know.
Because my interview, I'll be speaking to Waspy woman Kim Rye following this week's decision from the government not to award them compensation. You won't want to miss it.
This is the Octosmart Essentials Topper from the sleep experts at Dormeo. Simply roll it out for an instant comfort boost for your old mattress, your sofa bed, guest bed, or it can be used even directly on the floor. Inspired by patented Octospring aerospace technology, this topper can transform your old.
So that's it over. That's the firelighting session over, I think. Well, is it? Are you happy with that? Have we done it? Have we cracked it? Have we made it?
Call or go online to order yours today. There are 3 great reasons why the Octosmart Essentials Topper will help transform your sleep. 1. Each Octocell
I think
has
so.
an individual support
So I'll get away and get my tea now.
pressure-free, blissful sleep. If you wake at night with aching hips, shoulders, or numb arms, the Octosmart Essentials Topper could be the answer. 2. Octocells
That's 38 minutes that's taken. But you did see the actual cleaning out operation as well.
so you can fall asleep faster and sleep deeper. 3. The Octocell design results in less transfer of movement, which means when your partner moves, the Octocell layer helps you to stay asleep and enjoy a more restful, less disturbed night. The Essentials Topper is wrapped in our signature Octosmart cover with hundreds of micro air pockets, and the mesh sides help to boost the air circulation. The Essentials Topper
Yeah, I don't even start. It's depressing me going on about it. They're adding a tax. So it's like the argument about it's a grocery tax. It's just another tax. Yes, and why? How can you really argue that's a good thing? Who can argue that that's a good thing? Nobody can. Can argue that another tax is helpful. So why don't say like? How would it be? Imagine if Amazon came round to your house, right? You order something, they come into your house, and you buy something. They just hand like there's a box. They lift it out of the box and put it in. I don't know, how would that work? That'd be difficult, wouldn't it? Say like it's in a packet. Well, maybe it should be sealed in a packet. I mean, like what? I've got an example. Well, this here, George Foreman grill. So it's in a box, right? So it's in there. So if there's any, well, this is quite a simple thing. It's got a plug in the box. So if they came round and they just took that out, scrapped it off at your house. But see, there's like there's bits in here. I'm not sure how that would work. If there was no packaging. Well, if you buy that from Amazon, it's going to be packaged, isn't it? It's going to have. It's going to be inside some sealed packet. So. Yeah. So what are you paying for? Are you paying for that cardboard, the box? If you bought that on Amazon, it would come in a sealed packet. So they think the grocery tax. Well, I don't know how this grocery tax is going to work. I'd really find out more about it. You know, it maybe doesn't even apply to Amazon. But yeah, well, they'll land up taxing everything. I really couldn't give a shit about waspy women. To me, it's just another bunch of self-entitled, stupid women that are looking for extra money. And that woman that's talking just now, she's dumb as anything.
I think it's completely unfair, and I want to keep fighting for a fair deal for the waspy women.
Real injustice. We need to do something about it, Carol, because that wasn't the basis upon which you paid in. That wasn't the basis upon which you were working. We've got a government that has basically put its fingers in its ears.
Yeah, that's what you'd be doing.
Really? Is that your government? Well, joining me, waspy woman, local councillor and freelance journalist Kim Rye. Kim, thank you very much for joining me. Really good to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking time out. Really good to see you as well. Okay, Kim, what do you think about the judgment? Because the Labour Party don't sound like they're going to now be in support of the waspy women.
I'll give you the principal version. It's what I really think. I don't think you'd like to know. But let's put it this way. We're being told, how dare you? Because you wanted equality.
Right, the fire is starting to creak now.
Where's the equality?
That woman that's talking, she's got a scream in the background, but it's a woman.
At one end of the spectrum and grandchildren at the other, and a lot of women my age are caring, as well as doing their jobs, they're caring for people in their families. So, you know, that doesn't wash for a start. And the other thing is, where are these mystery letters that we're supposed to have received? I've never received a letter. I've never had it explained to me. I've never been given an alternative.
Right, it's starting to creak now. So that's that means that the fire is successfully in action. So you can tell by the length of time this video's taken how long it takes to. Well, we did clean it out as well, didn't we? So that's getting the heart now. It's going.
Would you accept that 10 million is quite a bit, which is how much they would maybe need to stump up to pay?
You hear it creaking, and that's it getting too hot. It's like the pipe. So if you don't, I don't think it's a good idea to have the thing getting too hot. I actually would video this right for hours, but sometimes you've got to back off of your videos. You know, you can't video everything. So, how's that then? Are you happy with that? How's that? Is that good? Right. There you go. Look at that. So anybody can see these videos.
No problem with that at all. I actually enjoy it. I actually enjoy working. But it's the way we've been looked down upon and told, well, you should have known about this. You know, don't
Energy can.
because you have. I don't know anybody in my age group who's ever received.
It's getting hot now.
Explaining any of this in full.
Yeah, well, very disappointing. But for me, the worst bit is not the fact that
Right.
you didn't get the
We're going to go now because it's going to shut down anyway. That's 40. God, that's taken a while. 48 minutes for it to get hot.
They were in support of you.
Well, this is so
Some functions disabled by temperature rise.
contagious and lie.
Wow.
And it's a lie in plain sight. They've lied about everything from the morning of July the 5th. They've lied about everything. And the only outlet.
We're going. Bye.
Conservative woman. I've got a piece going on there tomorrow. So, you know, it's they've got the grit to say that they can't afford it.
You don't need to go down there, you can use this bit of wood.
Well, the one that's in
Get that way.
aid to African countries for farmers, and Syria, we're hearing about that. But we know who's going to get their hands on that money, don't we? Excuse me. It's all a pack of lies.
But they would argue that when they made those comments, they weren't aware of the black hole, because obviously they weren't in power then. It was around about 2019, some of those comments dating that far back. And they would say that then they inherited the worst economy in a very bad shape, and as one of them described it, it's like trying to turn around a tanker that's going in the wrong direction full speed. So they have their reasons, that's what they would say.
Liars.
They would also point to the fact that you've had a long
Liars.
time for this to be an ongoing situation, to be aware of what was happening.
Liars!
Yes, well, what they don't realise is that most of us have spent most of our lives...
Sorry, I've just done that, and I was trying to show you what I was doing, but I'll have to do it.
Everything that goes on, things can go over your head, but you know what they should have done.
This is going to cut out anyway. Right, what I was talking about was, you can use this. That's it on full. That's the air going right up in there. The air goes swooshing in, the fire burns more faster. Turn it right down to nothing. But it's not nothing because it's a modern system, so it still lets air in, because otherwise it would smoulder and that's bad for the environment. That's why I paid money for this thing. It's like four, it was a lot, yeah, it was a few quid, right? So, if anybody says that I can't use this, I need compensation. You know, government, compensation. You don't want me to use this. It's been used according to regulations. You can see by the video. They're using seasoned wood, biomass and seasoned wood. It's legal and it's working. So if you want me to stop using this, you need to pay me. But they just like taking money off you, don't they? Right, thanks for watching, bye!